am trying to be here, so I can be here when I am not. I'm thinking about how I wish you weren't here, how I could be alone and calm. Tell me, are your ears burning? And can you listen? Just listen to your breath and the birds, the building of words. Do you know how to listen? Just listen. Forget the earth. Eat the soil if you like. You can think about all the things dying in there. Tell me. Do you know who you are? Tell me. Are your ears burning? Can you teach me how to listen? Just listen to me, Sappho, tell me. Are your ears burning? Tell me. Are you kind? I'm thinking about lavender, about bruises and eye bags, the colour I asked my dad to paint my room when I was 3. A pale lilac, almost blue. I'm thinking about green tea and incense sticks, your perfume at the back of my throat, the dream catcher in me mum's bedroom window. I'm thinking about carabiner clips and chapstick. Which is sweeter, the first or 23rd kiss? The doorstep out of my friend's kitchen, talking his cat down from the tree. I'm thinking about here, and her, and me. I'm thinking about the back of Sappho's head, the nape of her neck, press of lips, a peck, crowing for 10, pink stains on marbled skin. I'm thinking about Plath, buried on Hepton's door. How I sat with my mam, told her she didn't seem tall enough. How does it all fit in a box? I don't tell her that I thought about laying down by the grave in the rain to see how I measured up, but didn't because I was wearing my second best coat. I'm thinking about my own death, about falling asleep here and only waking up once they've grown a myth over me like moss. I'm thinking about how if they ever dig up my bones, they will say, she was a woman, but they will have no way to tell that my favorite color is red, mostly because I love my brother. And I'll follow him, as Jacob said, to build an ark beneath his bed. I'm thinking about hiccups and crossing your legs when you need a wee. I am still thinking about her and me. I'm thinking about why a man would make a statue of Sappho, about the difference between a bust and a decapitation drawn at the line across her clavicle, about whether I can ask that no man ever reads my poems, if that can be included in my notes for posthumous publication. I'm thinking about digging my nails into the rock of her face and leaving the red of my varnish there. I'm thinking about how salty scones are, and of spitting in rivers, of bare midriffs and late April shivers, of Earl Grey and blue flower tea. And yes, I am still thinking about her and me. I was wondering if you could listen. Just listen. If you heard me on Sunday night in the church car park, I'm sorry, I found a magpie, all crooked. laying over there by that tree. Just her tail and spine, her speckled eggs cracked and covered in dirt. I wiped away the yolk, spoke out, said something to no one. I held her head like a baby's, stroked my thumb across her freckled cheek. I was only little. Her deathbed, the concrete, her wings bent in towards her body, cuddled to the grave by her own bones. Have you ever heard how I scream when someone's died? It's like the painting of the man with the stretched face. Deathly silence, deafening pain, ringing off past the pier, pushing air past teeth and breath and breath and breath and bits of spit falling over puffy lips. My rib cage is empty as the way he's made Sappho's eyes seem to be. Have you ever heard how I scream? I've been wondering, how will it sound when I die? If you know that sort of thing in advance. Will a lifetime of screaming send me gentle into that good night? Will I give up to ghosts like the creaking of the trees? You'd have to get so close to hear me. Ear to sternum for one last hum. Hold me in some sweet embrace, ghastly to the crowd watching you cradle the swan song out of me. Would you be willing to listen? Just listen, tell me, how did it sound when I died? See, I thought it would sound like a late night. Us, sat like this on the kitchen floor. I counted your heartbeats through your shoulder. Never knew there was a pulse in there. I counted all the way to 23. You sounded pretty enough to have me forget my anger, or perhaps it were the whiskey-bidden slumber that had us slumped against each other. If I remember, the dead man was sat like this, propped up against a tree, the one I ran behind when the Rottweiler chased me. I didn't know what it was then. I thought it was a lion. He told me to not be afraid. In gasps between my screaming, I asked, why then d'you keep it on such a strong chain? I was wondering if you could tell me the story. Was there not a man who drank himself to sleep? Did my dad not bury him? Or did he hang himself in that tree? Didn't my friend find him, swinging there in the park? She told me how the wind sang through him. Do you remember your part? There is a man, collapsed a little like this, fallen forward near the station, loose change tipped out before him, blinking at the whitening sky. Flip a coin on his life. I don't know if he is dying or dead. I walk away. Wonder how my day would have gone if I were the one to find another's body on Georgia Street. Do you remember? Can you tell me? Will they see my boots before my body? My notebook thrown a little over from me. I wonder if my red pen clutched in my paling fist will be the last beating sting about me. Is it really so mannish to speak of legacy? What will it sound like when they drain the blood from my body? Will you let them? I was wondering if you ever read the letter I left for you in the top drawer of my desk, the white desk, in the lilac room. See, I've been wondering about my own death, and how you like to take your tea, and who does comfort the reaper when he weeps. I am wondering, who put the path there? And I am thinking about Lavender. How everyone's got a story to tell about her. My dad, picking leaves from the bushes by the holly tree to rub about the bluish parts of my wrists. Your mum, buying dried bunches to split into posies and lay about the house. You, calling me to tell me how your sheets still smell of it 3 nights after I had fallen asleep with you. I am thinking about red ink and tulips, about posting all these poems to my mother in an envelope sealed with a sticker. I am thinking about stroking my friend's hair as a peace offering, a prayer, about the children dangling their sandaled feet in their dad's grave, about who would dare to preach at the funeral of my father. I am thinking about my own death, but also of your voice, singing in my head. My fingers take their own pulse. We're still breathing. There's life in us yet. I'm thinking about how I wish you were here. How we could be alone and calm. I am thinking about your heartbeats. Each of them, all 23, and yes, of course, my darling, I am thinking about you and her and me.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sure.